Hey guys, and welcome to a historic day as I finally and eventually play the mighty Vampire Counts. It's true, I have fallen to the dark side and shall be leading the forces of the Counts up against the Empire and Guthfortunato, which is a very interesting name there, and his Empire legions led by Balthasar Gelt, here to purge me in holy flame for my sins. Should be a super fun game on a very snowy map, so let's hop in here quickly and have a little look at the builds. So, as all good non-Vampire Count players know, the only way to play Vampire Counts is with a load of Blood Knights and a load of zombies, and that's exactly what I've done. So in the front line, we have a ton of fleshy meat bags, 5 units of zombies slotted all the way along here just to absorb damage, be a pain, and kind of take all the shots while the rest of my build actually deals the damage. Now for the rest of the build, we do have 2 units of skeleton warriors as well in the secondary line to add a tiny bit more punch than the zombies do indeed bring. And they're going to be guarding the Claw of Nagash, Regiment of Renowned Mortis Engine, which is not ethereal, although I keep saying it is in all my other replays. It certainly does look ethereal, but it actually comes in with magic resistance, is of course weak to fire, but causes terror, and has some really nice effects. It can drain, it can heal, it can do all that kind of good stuff for you. So, always nice to have in the front line. Up in the skies, we do have double Fellbat. These guys simply here to put pressure on enemy skirmishers, range troops, artillery crews, and all that kind of good stuff. But the main bulk of our money, and kind of the core of the build here, is a bit of a Blood Knight theme going on, and that is because we have triple Blood Knights, all with a chevron or 2 on them. These guys, one of the best cavalry in the game. Also, the fact that they can be healed back from the dead makes them even more potent and deadly. They have frenzy, anti-large, and ridiculously good stats across the board. And apart from that, they do look very cool as well. Up in the skies, leading them, of course, we have gone for a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord to fit his horde of cavalry here on the Undead Dragon, which certainly does look very cool and scary. Although it does look like he's kind of just squatting on there with his dual swords. He's looking a little bit odd. But he's going to be coming in with Heart Piercer, of course, Helm of Discord, a fantastic debuff. The plan is to do a big overflank on this right-hand side, of course, drop this down and punch through the enemy lines. We also have the Sword of Anti-Heroes, and for spells, we've gone for Wind of Death, an incredibly expensive wind spell. We also have Raise Dead, Dance Macabre, as well as Invocation and the Hex. So yeah, should be a fun little build. Now for my opponent here, he's taken a very defensive approach. He does have 2 units of Outriders, however, pushed up, and they could be a big problem to my build if they get onto the key target. Apart from that, hidden in some trees, or at least in deep reserve here, with a couple of great swords. I'm sure I'll be moving up relatively soon. And then for the front battle line, we do have spearmen dotted around in a rather solid formation as well. So it looks like I'm going to be trying to take charges and slow down my forces. Well, just behind them on top of the hill, we have a load of handgunners. It looks like actually just 2 handgunners, but still that's decent AP across the board. And they also have a Hellblaster volley gun, as well as a Luminarch of Hish here, which is going to be a big threat to a lot of my units. We have a Witch Hunter here as part of a hero corps, as well as a Warrior Priest, and for the Lord we have Balthasar Gelt on foot. So foot Gelt, not something you get to see every day, and he is going to be coming in with Glittering Robe, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. No final transmutation for him, but also Arcane Conduit, so should be pretty good stuff. So a very defensive build, going to be taking the high ground and trying to snipe me out on the approach, and then hold the line when I do emerge. And as you can see by the glittering debris here, Claw of Nagash takes a massive shot there, but it's rather scary stuff. So we are going to be trying to use the map to our advantage. We are hiding our Blood Knights down here in this little dip, and as you can see, no one's going to be able to shoot down upon them from the high ground there. So that is also where the Claw is heading. We also popped an Invocation the heck on it, and it's going to be pretty key in helping these zombies and skeleton warriors. Looks like we've actually left 1 unit of zombies behind, but you know, they're zombies, it's for the best. And so yeah, the Luminarch does miss its shot quite heavily here, going a little bit wide. And the Blood Knights are going to be taking a long approach around to this right-hand flank, darting for the trees for now. I have actually spotted these great swords, so I'm planning to overload from the back lines at this point. Fellbats have pushed forward over top of the Outriders. We're a little bit, need to get a little bit moving, I think. They need to kind of pull back and wrap around, but looks like he's trying to micro the rest of his forces at the moment. And as we kind of take the low ground here, hide the Claw for the meanwhile. Looks like the Luminarch wasn't on guard mode as well, so it was starting to wheel out, but nice spot by my opponent to drag him back. And it looks like the Hellblaster as well is going to be repositioning here to try and get in line. Handgunners are going to be unleashing some shots, but it's only into zombies and the like, so not going to get too much good value there. Outriders have decided to pull back now to help defend as the Great Swords do start to advance. Kind of a massive breath attack here from our dragon right down the line of these handgunners, obliterating them pretty much to the man. Up to 66 kills from one breath attack is pretty crazy stuff, as the Luminarch once again hits the Claw of Nagash as the zombie horde does waddle forward. Fellbats do fall here to the combined firepower of the handgunners, as another unit has just darted down on the Hellblaster, trying to distract them while the Blood Knights do get up here and in position. The Claw of Nagash does have another invocation on it, trying to keep it alive and active. Looks like a Glittering Robe going to keep these Spearmen very healthy. However, Battlestar Gelt isn't the toughest combatant, so we're going to be dropping a Helm of Discord on him, as well as all our big buffs, and we're going to be annihilating Foot Gelt, who's trying his best here to hold the line. We have shots coming in, great swords as well are rallying to the Geltmeister, and he is nearly dead straight out of the bat there. However, Outriders are now unleashing hell upon the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, who currently has minus missile resistance, armor, and all that useful stuff for him, so he certainly needs to flee there. Nice play with the Witch Hunter. In the back line, the Blood Knights have hammered home into key targets. Great swords and Hellblasters alike are getting overrun, as well as handgunners, and we summon some zombies on them as well to be a little bit pesky. Blood Knights are trying to chase back and force back these skirmishers, at least for a little while, before we can surround Gelt once more. In the front lines, we are struggling, of course, as we do only have zombies and skeleton warriors. We are going to try a little cheeky Wind of Death here down the line of these great swords as well as handgunners, doing, some pretty good damage. I don't think we could afford an overcast, so it kind of just blasted down. Looks like the great swords are going to be terrified here. In the back lines, Blood Knights continue to reave and wreak havoc, as the Hellblaster Volley has now been completely shut down, and these great swords are going to be shattered as well. Dragon is now targeting the Luminarch after a breath attack, trying to follow up where possible. Looks like the Geltmeister is back, dropping a Searing Doom on the front line, and this Claw of Nagash somehow is still alive, getting relatively close to its healing cap. However, my opponent really trying to finish it off as much as possible. Blood Knights charging to the rear of Spearmen now, trying to force them back and dismantle them. In the distance though, this one unit of Blood Knights has been caught out by my opponent, using some nice skirmishing and a decent AP, slowly dragging those guys to the death. Although it looks like the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord has now pulled apart that pesky Luminarch, and now has a more golden target in sight. Looks like we actually line up a breath attack, perhaps. No, we are summoning some zombies to keep Battlestar Gelt pinned in here, so he has nowhere to hide, and in comes the dragon with a big old clobber, sending the Geltmeister absolutely flying, as well as some friendly zombies as well. In the main battle line, the Warrior Priest is fighting hard now, dismantling most of my front line. You can see we've basically got no ground troops left at all. It looks like that Warrior Priest up to 38 kills, certainly not too shabby. We have a little contingent of strength around here, but it is mainly the Blood Knights left, and we have managed to surround the Witch Hunter, as well as force off Gelt here. Outriders are running low on ammunition, which is a bit of a saving grace for me, as they're very good against all that I have left, and nothing can really catch them very easily, especially if they kind of dart away. Claw of Nagash is up to 53 kills. Looks like it's just about to go down, but it's done a pretty good job just tanking hit after hit. And over on this right-hand side, the Blood Knights, who have now gained some chevrons, going to be charging into the Spearmen and Warrior Priest alike. Yes, Spearmen do have anti-large, but the Hell Discord pops them in particular, as well as a big fat breath attack coming down there. They're not going to be able to do much damage to the Blood Knights. And it looks like armor losses is setting in there, and it is going to be a victory for the Vampire Counts. And although it was a victory, of course, it hurts my soul to play such a faction. But still, I actually really enjoyed the game. So let's go have a little bit of analysis. But well played to Fortunato there. Very interesting build, obviously trying out some pretty fun units himself, as we were as well. Hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, feel free to give the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe for more Total War Warhammer content. Anyway, now to the builds. That's my opponent. The Outriders did some good damage all round, but realistically they needed to focus down the Blood Knights. They managed to dismantle one unit very, very effectively, but you can see the others did manage to gain chevrons and get some really good work in. So managed to take out one unit of Blood Knights, but I think they needed to kind of loop back up and around his build in the early stages to kind of put pressure on them and drive them away where possible. And the Hellblaster as well didn't get too many good shots. However, the Luminarch did massive damage overall to the Claw of Nagash, and if it wasn't for that little dip in the terrain there's no chance they would have managed to make it to the front line. So I got a little bit fortuitous there with the terrain working in my advantage. It's always good to see the Geltmeister himself in action. A really fun pick who did some okay work, but again, he's pretty squishy and gets sniped out very easily by enemy characters and lords. As for my own build, it went pretty damn well. I mean, the zombies were there to die, as well as the skeleton warriors. Just harass, annoy my opponent's front line, and allow the Blood Knights to really carry the day. And as you can see, yes, one unit got kited, But the other two, 107 and 143 kills, slamming into the back line, taking out the great swords, and basically nullifying any kind of effect they could have on the battle. Taking out the handgunners and taking out the Hell Blaster volley gun is some fantastic work all round. And of course, that Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, a real MVP, coming in with a whopping 141 kills and a big fat breath attack early on, neutering the effectiveness of the kind of range portion of this build, taking out a unit of handgunners pretty much to the man at the very beginning. So guys, hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see your replays up on my channel or get involved in the tournament scene in general, feel free to join my Discord. There is a link down below in the description, as well as links to how you can support the channel through Patreon and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway guys, until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.